Hey guys, Coach Craig down here at AM Fitness in Plainville, and today we're going to talk a little bit about strength and strength gains. All right, now, strength. What is strength? Basic definition of strength is the ability to apply force to move a load. Okay, now it's a little more complicated than that, especially when it comes to in the gym. Take for example, when you first started. Right, gains came rather quickly. Right, they changed. Your body changed really fast. You were able to lift a lot of weight really quickly, right? And things happen, boom, 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 right? But we got to think about that for a second, right? Maybe week 1 you were in there and you were grabbing a 20-pound dumbbell, and then week 2 came around and you were able to do that exercise with a 25-pound dumbbell, all right? So if we're thinking about that, that's 5 pounds per week. Now, if I had a 20-pound dumbbell in my right hand and then I was able to go up 5 pounds per week consistently, over the course of a year, I've added 260 pounds to my right arm. Right now, obviously, that is excessive. That's not going to happen. Right now, what happens in the beginning is what's called neurological adaptation. Basically, what that is your body realizing that you're putting a stress load on it that it hasn't done before. And it's going to take advantage of what it already has. So your body's going to adapt the most efficient way possible, and that's by using what you already have in your body. So you've always been that strong. You just never knew it because your body never attempted to lift it, nor did it need to. So now you're starting a new program, you're working out, and you're putting this new stressor on your body. Your body's like, I got to do all this new stuff. Let's make sure that I use everything I can to get that up. So that happens across the first 6 to 8 weeks. Then after that, the body's tapped out neurologically. Right? It can no longer adapt. You've used all the muscle that you have in your body already. Now we need to make a physical change. Now the body's like, well, if I'm going to keep doing this, now I have to adapt by adding muscle. Now that's our true strength gains. True strength gains take a lot longer. All right, they're much slower process, and that's where you're going to go from like, why couldn't I lift it again? Why couldn't I go up this week? Why wouldn't this happen? Okay, that's when we've reached our true strength gains. Now, the danger with the frustration that comes along with that is that we run the risk of going from adaptation to true strength is much slower angle, right? Adaptation, very sharp angle. True trains, a lot slower, all right? But we want to keep going up this way. So instead of creating that true and slowing down how fast we gain, right, we go into a compensatory strength gains. Okay? That's lifting more weight by compensating. Now, that can happen two ways. One, the completely obvious and blatant bad form, right? The rock with the bicep curl, or the rounded back, lifting with our deadlifts, or arching up here, using everything besides just our hips in our good form. So those ones are pretty obvious, just as dangerous, right? But very obvious. The second one are a little bit harder to see. Those are the ones that are happening with inside your body that are much smaller and much more difficult for an untrained eye. Right? This is where your coaches come into play. This is where you really need them, not so much to fix you, but to listen. Right? This is where you need to talk. So if you notice randomly that whenever you started doing squats, you were good. Now when you start to get heavier, you notice that your hip flexor really starts to fire up. This starts to hurt while I'm squatting. Okay? Now there could be a couple different things that are happening. Right? Maybe we just have a weak quad on this side, so this side's working a lot harder. Or maybe we have a weight shift. Right? We come up and from our squat we're down, and as we come up we shift over a little bit, or we kick our hip to the side. Things that we don't really notice, but our coaches, when given the opportunity, see. Now, at that point, that's where you have to tell them, like, well, whenever I squat, this doesn't feel good. Okay, now we have to figure out what's going on. It could be, like I said, a little bit of weakness, or it could be an impingement. Maybe something's in the hips a little impinged, so whenever I shift to the side, I take that weight off of it, and then I can come back on, and I feel fine. So, that's where we need to make sure that we are talking to our coaches. Because no matter what the compensation, whether it be a dramatic arc or bad form, or just a little bit of discomfort in the hips while we're squatting, all right, compensation is going to lead to an injury. Okay, compensation is a shortcut, and if you continue to train taking the shortcuts, all right, you're never going to gain the true strength. You're always going to use that way. Think about it. If you were, you found a new way to go home that was faster, would you ever take the long way again? No. You'd always take the shortcut. So if we continue to train through compensations and through compensatory strength, we will continue to build strength through improper movement. So eventually, maybe not next rep, maybe not 20 reps, but eventually something's going to go out and we're going to end up in pain, injured, and then we're going to have to go backwards. So what you need to do as a member or anybody who's working out is to pay attention to A, good form, all right? That's what your coach is there to help with. But B, all right, being verbal with your coaches also, all right? And then C, don't get frustrated that you don't make new gains or new PRs every single week, all right? Once you're into that true strength gain area, right, it's slow. It's a slow process. There's nothing fast about it. But if it's done correctly, it's done safely, right, it'll have long-lasting effects, right? Instead of going through, and I get strong, and then I get injured, and I get strong, and then I get injured, right? You just slowly get strong, right? And your workout career, or whatever you want to call it, however long you feel like working out for, is a positive one that results in a strong body without pain. All right. So, if you have any questions about this or gain, muscle gain and anything having to do with the science in lifting, all right, don't be afraid to ask one of your coaches. Otherwise, we'll hope to see you at your next workout.